and welcome to MGP542. I'm Kevin. With me as ever, there's Sheepdog, Anna and Pab. Say hello, boys and girls.
Hello, boys and girls.
Hello.
Hello.
So where's your excuse then for not bothering to do a podcast last week? Me and Anna have a week off. You two couldn't be bothered, presumably.
We did a feature-length one.
Nobody's going to believe. Nobody will believe that for a second.
I mean, I'm surprised you're here because I talked at great length about how all the things I'd put in place to try and sink your boat, but obviously it didn't work. All of it failed.
It's me.
You did
That's
do
like
that, didn't you?
It's the worst 10 grand I've ever spent.
I mean, it was an unsinkable boat. It was the size of a shopping centre. It was absolute insanity. All my travel sickness problems have been cured. From now on, I'm just going to travel by enormous boat at all times. That's all I need.
That's probably all of the drugs that I had the waiters be feeding you in your food. They probably somehow made you feel better.
I mean, I did take a lot of drugs and have a lot of
it
drug
was
patches
cyanide
and things. Yeah, I don't remember cyanide, but I did have a lot of travel sickness tablets. We had little patches under our ears and all over our bodies, basically, little patches. We had the wristbands.
What
miraculously, I wasn't ill.
What?
Yeah, they were like nicotine patches, but they've got some kind of herb in them that stops you from getting travel sick. I bought them off Amazon. I don't really know what the details were. I don't know if they're medically verified in any way. I just bought them off Amazon for $5, and they seem to work. So
you're telling me that I trained assassins. I got a dolphin.
You literally could have just
C4.
labelled anything travel sickness solution on Amazon and I'd have taken it.
I feel like you're the roadrunner and I'm the coyote here. This is outrageous. I feel like I've been done.
Yeah, I mean, you literally could have given us anything. I mean, we just picked the first random mystery brownie in a fridge when we walked into a shop in Amsterdam. We were actually fairly confident it didn't contain any devil's lettuce, but we paid €15 for it, so it was worth it on that front. We went to the cannabis museum, and turns out that's just a tourist trap that doesn't actually sell any cannabis, but they had a fridge full of CBD cakes basically on the door on the way in that were €15 each, and we were too afraid to go to the real coffee shop, so we just bought one of those and went and secretly ate it on a park bench around the corner. And then when Anna read the label, it was like, it does say on this it doesn't contain any THC. So we just got stung for €15 by a happy man selling cakes.
What would the museum even have? Surely the plants would all wither away after a couple of
bongs,
months.
Lighters, pipes, you name it. If there's drug paraphernalia you can think of, they had it in this shop. It was all there.
You could have just seen all of that in university halls.
Well, we didn't have to pay to get into the museum. It was just there.
You just wandered into Amsterdam University.
Hold on, let me rephrase that, Anna. We didn't pay to get into the museum, so we just had to wander. I guess we just wandered around the gift shop for the museum.
And then stole some bloke's brownie out of the fridge.
We paid €15 for that brownie. And it was because they didn't take American Express in there, so I had to pay with my debit card for my business account as well. So at some point in the next year, I'm going to have a conversation with my accountant about why I've got a €15 transaction to the cannabis museum on my business account.
I mean, if he asks, just say "live a little man" and just like.
Well, my response would be, it featured in a video, so as far as I'm concerned, I don't know specifically what the ins and outs legally are of that, but presumably it's fine. It was in a video. The whole rest of the trip went through the business account. Surely the cake we had can too.
I hope he throws the book at you. I hope he just tells you to sing it to the judge and then you go to prison.
Look, the amount of I've got him basically dominating the Football Manager YouTuber scene now. He's the go-to accountant. He owes me a holiday, if anything. The amount of people I've sent his way, goodness me, he'll do anything to make it right. He'll go to jail for me.
Is this why all of these players are suddenly signing Mbappe for 9 million or whatever it was?
You can sign him for 2.5 million.
This accountant's that good.
Yeah, he knows his onions. He's a very clever man.
I know someone with a surname Onion, but go on anyway.
Is it Mr. Onions off of CBeebies?
I mean, yeah, it would be Mr. Onion, I suppose.
And is he on CBeebies? Or are there two Mr. Onions in the world?
My mum once got in trouble because she graffitied something about his nan on a fence when she was young. That's the only story I know of that family.
Interesting. I don't want to know what she graffitied about an onion. I saw a plant in Sainsbury's that looked like an onion, but it wasn't an onion. It was a plant. That's basically the highlight of my 2 weeks. No, it was an onion, but it was a flower. There was a flower coming out of an onion.
Ew, what would that smell like?
No, it's
flowers.
Like a xanthrium. I can never say.
It was a hyacinth, I think.
Oh yeah, I used to own a hyacinth. So
but it looked like an onion at the bottom.
That's called a bulb.
Yeah, is that a bulb?
Well, I'm pretty confident it was an onion.
I mean, you could probably eat it and find out. I don't know if it's poisonous. Don't eat it, actually. Like, listener, I mean, you could eat it, but listeners don't eat them.
But yeah, now me and Anna are seasoned cruisers. We're getting ready to book our next one now, so I'm going to need your hookup for all the free winter gear, because we're going on one up to Norway, up to the Arctic Circle to go and see the Northern Lights. So if you can pass me your contact that hooked you up with all that free stuff, I'll show them what it's like working with a real content creator. I'll burn that bridge for you.
No, genuinely, like, she'd probably be quite happy if I said, "Oh, I got someone you can speak to who'll get you about 1,000 times the viewers that I did at least." She'd be like, "Yes, absolutely, please do. That'll be fantastic." Part of what she said to me was they don't get asked often. It's not really something that people often come to them about because there's so many other choices or whatever. But yeah, I could legitimately have a chat about that. That's probably something we can talk about here.
That's going to sort us out. Well, I think people like to know the inner workings of brand deals.
Yeah.
It's important that people know all about them.
I like the image that people could just come to me and go, "Sheepdog, sort me out." Or, "Kev, I need an accountant." We need to get that rep going around. Someone actually said to me, you're probably the most connected person I know. And I thought, what? No, I'm not. I have like one connection that's connected to everybody else. That's basically it. But I suppose it works the same.
There we go. Have I got anything else to bring you up to speed about after our 2 weeks off?
Yeah, Southampton was excellent. Where we went to eat was so big.
The food hall in the shopping centre?
Yeah.
You are very easily pleased, aren't you? I take her on a cruise, and her highlight is we went to a different Wagamama to the usual one.
Great. It was excellent.
It was a good Wagamama. I will give you that. It was a good Wagamama. But you are bonkers. You also got your feet measured by a robot. But at a company we can't mention if we're trying to get Sheepdog's snow gear hookup. We can't mention a rival, but we did have a lot of fun getting Anna's feet measured by a robot. My feet were too big to be measured by a robot.
You wouldn't pull your trousers up.
Look, I refuse to wear trousers in a shop. It is a long-running policy of mine. Trousers are unacceptable.
I'm saying. But yeah, now I have a perfect image of a 3D image of my feet.
And you found out all your shoes are 3 sizes too big.
Yes.
Really?
Well, a few years ago, we went to the gadget show, and there was someone there going, "Oh yeah, we'll charge you £300 and we'll give you a measurement of your feet and a scan of your feet." And now I've got it done for free, so I'm happy with that. Just wait 10 years and the technology comes to shops.
Yes.
Yeah, my shoes are too big, apparently.
Yes, we're going to get Anna some new shoes, but we're going to get them for free. We've just established that. It's all good. Have you two got any exciting news for us before we talk about video games?
My mind's gone blank now you've asked. I've probably had hundreds of stories lined up.
2 weeks of just pining for us. That's all it's been for you. Just thinking about how much you missed hearing our voices.
I tell you what, the TikTok algorithm was blitzing me with videos about your trip. I was just like, all right, I get it.
Me
I get
too,
it, TikTok.
actually.
I get it. Like,
Look,
I don't mind seeing your stuff.
I may or may not have done a little bit of research into how TikTok works. I got 600,000 views in the 4 days we were away on TikTok.
100 of them
we absolutely smashed it.
That was me and Pab across 300,000 videos, no doubt.
I've now replicated it on the Football Manager one as well. I'm basically a TikToker now. I've had nearly 1.5 million views across the 2 channels in the last week and a bit. I am Mr. TikTok. Balls to YouTube. I'm TikTok man now.
Does that mean you're going to be? Does that mean? Sorry, you're going to be managing the TikTok team at the TikTok for YouTube football?
That is a tricky situation, isn't it? I mean, that particular match isn't happening this year, but I don't know. Perhaps I could. Yeah, I could probably manage both teams. I mean, ultimately, I am that good. I probably could manage both teams.
I thought you were going to say ultimately they don't listen to you anyway, so you could just stand on the side and shout at both teams because the goalkeeper's just going to move himself up front when he wants to.
Yeah, bunch of idiots. Goodness me. Yeah, maybe I will manage Team TikTok this year for a little bit of a change, because I am a TikTok guy. I assume you both gave lots of... I didn't notice any comments. I hope there was lots of likes on my TikToks. Didn't notice any comments for the algorithm, though, you pair of swines.
I actually beefed a couple of people just so that they'd reply. Like, I didn't really care, but I was just like, whatever they said, I disagreed with it, because then I knew they'd come back and reply a couple of times. So I just thought, look, I'm having a poo. I'll sit here for the next 20 minutes replying to you, mate. Help Kev's algorithm. So, you know, at least 100,000 of them probably from me boosting it, amplifying it with my poo.
Exactly, and I don't want to brag too much, boys and girls, but I'm just logging into the dashboard now because I'm about to blow your minds as well. I've already told you how many views I've had. Do you want to know how much money I've made on TikTok in this week? Hold on, brace yourselves. I've made £1.77.
Wow.
I've made, my loyalties may still be with YouTube just for the time being.
I do wonder how that all, how that all supposed to work. It's a bit bizarre, isn't it? But I'm sure they'll come knocking. They'll see those cruise videos shooting up the charts, and they'll be like, "Yeah, let's give this man a deal."
Exactly. Well, I've been back and forth with them today, trying to get my tick. They're very complicated. I just want a tick. All I want is ticks everywhere. Love a tick, me. But they're not giving me it yet, and I'm very sad about it.
I'm just imagining you covered in fleas now. That's all I've got in my head. Just rolling around itching because you're covered in so many ticks.
I do roll around itching most nights. I get itchy shins. I don't really know why. Anna gets very upset about my itchy shins. Basically, whenever this might be a medical condition. If anyone wants to diagnose me, every time I lie down in bed, my shins start itching.
Restless leg syndrome.
It's not. It's itchy shin syndrome.
It's not restless leg. That's probably your fabric conditioner or whatever on your bed sheets. Or your thyroid, because I used to get that. I used to have terrible shins.
What's a bed sheet?
Kevin, you know the thing I like to lie on that you don't like to lie on?
The thing that I get tangled in and fight with every night.
Yes.
Very complicated. Sleeping's hard. Sleeping's confusing. Be much easier if I could just dangle from something. Like a bat.
Become a bat, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to be a bat.
Isn't that how Ozzy Osbourne sleeps?
What, with itchy shins or like a bat?
Like a bat. He just hangs upside down, doesn't he? Or
Does
is that
he?
a myth? I don't know. I'm sure I read that he just...
I think that's a myth.
Thanks.
I might look into it. Dangle from the ceiling with my mask on my face. It'll be fine. Because I already don't need access to normal oxygen because I can just wear my mask and put my head anywhere. So if I can just dangle from a ceiling as well... I could dangle from the ceiling with my head in a bucket of water and I'd be fine because of my CPAP machine. I think that would be okay.
They're not
waterproof,
surely.
Yeah. I don't think
I haven't tried.
They're not scuba gear.
I can hear you, Anna.
Okay. It's just the thing are very small on my screen. I'll just make sure you can hear me.
No, we can hear you. Games then. Games are a thing.
They are. Did you play any while you're away?
Not at all while I was away. I've established that when I am away, I just read. I took my Steam Deck with me, but I was just reading. But I did absolutely hammer Persona 3 before we left. And I'm probably about 25 hours into it now, which I think is about... I mean, based on the calendar, I'm probably about a third of the way through, assuming it is a full year calendar like they are and all the other ones. It's very, very different from 4 and 5. Although it's got the similar game mechanic stuff, the story structure and the way it actually progresses through and the way you build your team is very, very different. And it's a lot darker. I quite like it. I'm intrigued where the story is going, but it's weirdly, because it was the earlier one of the three, it seems like it's less by the numbers almost. There's been a couple of times where I've not been completely certain what the right thing to do is or what to do next. And I've never really had that in 4 or 5. So I don't know if they just made it hold your hands a little bit more in the subsequent ones. And I'm coping with this one because I've played the others. And it's actually a hugely complicated game.
There might have been complaints at the time saying this was too hard to do, and they've really hammered that for 4. It worked.
Yeah,
and 5's,
maybe.
kept it.
But I'm quite enjoying just not really being sure what's going on. Like I say, I'm about a third in. I'm not really sure where the story's heading yet. It's not obvious who the big bad is. It's not obvious. There's clues that have been dropped here and there, but yeah, it's different. It's interesting, and I've not been able to snog any of the girls yet either, which has been a little bit different. I think snogging is coming.
Might have been the biggest complaint. Again, it might have just been, why can't I snog any of these women? And they're like, oh, fine, you pervert.
I have done the obligatory, let's all go for a trip to the beach so the girls can walk around in bikinis trip that is in every Persona game. We've reached that stage. We've gone past that. So there's still the right amount of stuff in there for perverts, but no snogging them just yet, which is, again, normally you're snogging by now.
Coming from a 40-year-old. You want it? It's very weird.
That's 40 years old, but mind of a 15-year-old. Come on.
I usually describe myself as a mind of a 9-year-old rather than a 15-year-old. Do 15-year-olds have a room full of action figures? They've usually grown out.
Don't want to snog girls, surely.
I don't want to snog actual girls. I want the game mechanic. I want the game mechanic of snogging girls. It's just part of the game to progress.
I thought you meant like you had to do something with the controllers, and I was like pausing.
You don't, as far as I'm aware, you don't even get to see them snogging. You just get they sit down on the bed quite close to each other, and then the screen goes black, and you're suddenly in a relationship. That's as far as the snogging goes. It's snogging behind a dark screen, secret snogging.
I mean, in any RPG, I assume it's just implied that the moment you see the characters in a new scene, they were probably snogging before or straight after.
There is I think that's just a thing with all these Japanese games. There's lots of snogging.
It's their culture. Like if you see two characters,
they love snogging.
It cuts from one scene to another. They've just been snogging. Whatever that gap was, fade to black. That's fade to snog in Japan.
I mean, that all makes sense. So, played a lot of that. Very much enjoying that. Played it exclusively on the Steam Deck so far. Haven't tried it on Xbox Game Pass. Haven't tried it on my PC. I've said it a gazillion times on the podcast that Persona games are made to be played handheld. I know they look prettier if you play them on the fancy PlayStation or anything like that. I get all that, but they are just 100% made to be played handheld. The first one I played was Persona 4 Golden on the Vita. It was perfect. I played through 5, although I did play it on the PS4 when it first came out. The way I enjoyed it the most was playing it through on the Steam Deck, and Persona 3, very much Steam Deck territory. So absolutely loving that. And then the other thing I've been playing in and about my Football Manager stuff is I'm still stuck into Total Extreme Wrestling. I mentioned it the last time I did a podcast. Last time there was a podcast, let's face it, no one's buying this. There was one last week, nonsense. But on the previous canon episode, I mentioned that I'd been playing Total Extreme Wrestling again. And this is probably the longest save I've had in that for years. I'm about 3 years in now of just having wrestlers wrestle each other while I click buttons and decide which wrestlers are going to wrestle who. It's Football Manager for wrestling. And I enjoy it very much.
Isn't it?
It is just text the way I like it, yes. The way games should be. It is the digital version of the wrestling game I used to play when I was a kid, which I've talked about before, where I would go to Sainsbury's on the way to a camping holiday when I was a kid. We'd go to Sainsbury's, we'd get me one of those 200 sheet pads of lined paper and a couple of pencils. I'd carve the corners off of the ends off the pencils and write various things on it so I could roll them like dice, because I didn't have any dice with me, and I would just fill the book with wrestling matches and I'd roll the pencils to establish who won those wrestling matches. So I'm basically just doing that. Yeah.
I mean, it's quite resourceful, to be fair. I'm looking at that thinking that's genius. But how old's this game? Because you talk about it like on and off.
This one is I think this is the 2020 version, so this is 4 years old now. They released a new one every 4 or 5 years, but it's been going for like 20, 25 years.
Because I was going to say, it didn't seem like there's been a new one out yet, like any time.
No,
super
but
recently.
there's. I mean, they don't have any of the official licenses or anything, but they do have a really good modding community. So once a month, there'll be real world mods released for it that have all of the real companies, wrestlers, storylines, all that kind of stuff. So at any point you want to start a new save, you just get that month's modded database, and you literally pick up from where everything is in real life, choose which company you want to run, and fill your boots. Yeah, fill your actual human boots. And that's what I'm doing currently. My boots are being filled, and it's lovely.
I've probably said this before over the years, but it does baffle me that there aren't more games like this out there. Like, I know there are, like F1 Manager and all of that.
I mean,
but
this
they're not
company
on the same level, are they?
makes a lot of them. I can't remember what the company's called. Is it Grey Dog Software? I'm just Googling it now. But they kind of specialize in really weird niche simulation games, but they mostly don't appear on Steam. You have to buy them from their website. But they've got one called, there you go, I'm looking at their games. So they've got Comic Book Universe, Total Extreme Wrestling, World of Mixed Martial Arts, Code of Superheroes, Mafio Capo Payback, Bowl Bound College Football, Fast Break Pro Basketball, Fast Break College Basketball. And it's just literally simulation games, text-based simulation games, and they've got dozens of them. If you want to play a weird little niche simulation, I think one guy just makes. I think this is why they all come out every 4 or 5 years, because it looks like they're all developed by this guy called Adam Ryland, and he just basically rotates through his 4 or 5 different franchises that he has, and releases a new game a year, and just rotates through the genres. He's probably the greatest nerd in the world. I might buy him out. I mean, if nothing else, this should be on Steam because it's great. It's the best. There's a few wrestling simulation games that are on Steam. This should be on Steam. It is better than any of them. This is the best wrestling simulation I've played. It's better than playing like the Universe mode and the WWE 2K games. It's much better now. It's Football Manager for wrestling. And there's a huge crossover between people who like Football Manager and people who like wrestling. It constantly comes up in my stream chat. So I know if like Sports Interactive would have put together a team of 50 people and say, right, go make a wrestling sim. Or if they were to buy this and actually invest in it and get it on Steam, this would be huge because it's awesome.
Surely if they gave this guy their like existing code and just said, just hack at Football Manager until it's, a wrestling game.
That's exactly what they should do. Make it happen, Sheepdog.
I mean, I'll try. I'll connect. I mean, you're the one connected to both people in this story. I'll just attach.
Yeah, but I also
can't
can't really be bothered to do it. Whereas you said you wanted to be the guy people go to make things happen. So I'm asking you to make something happen. Let's see if you can put your money where your mouth is. If you make this happen, then I'll start recommending you as the guy who can make things happen.
I mean, I think I said this last week. If I didn't, I was talking to someone else about it after the podcast. But my son's basically challenged me with getting in touch with the people who make the Yokai Watch games because he wants the Yokai Watch 4 to be translated into English and released over here. And he said it to me, and I was like, well, I can't just like make them do it. And then I thought, I wonder if I can find out who's in charge of that decision and ask them why they haven't done it and what it would take to do it. And then, how many people do I need to be up for this to be wanting to buy it? If I can go find enough people that will say, yeah, I'd buy that, would it convince him? So I did send the email. I haven't heard back yet. But that's you and my son now. They both want me to demand stuff of gaming companies. So I guess I've got a new project forming over the year. Throw your game demands my way. I'll get them all made. Let's go.
I mean, maybe get one of them made before people start throwing you more.
Mate, you throw enough poo at a wall, some of it's going to stick.
Yeah, I want mine to stick before you start working on anybody else's.
Yeah, but it's a snowball effect, isn't it?
Stick my poo to the wall.
When one of them falls, all the other ones will fall. That's how it works. That's always how it works.
My poo is very sticky. It's not falling.
Well, if we get your one made, maybe that'll get Yokai Watch translated somehow. I don't see how the two events would match each other, but it seems to be how it works.
Make it happen. And that is me finishing talking about video games.
Yeah, nice and busy. For me, it's mainly stuff I've spoken about before, but I want to start with I've reviewed this a couple of times, having played it myself, and with one of the kids. I played Sonic Superstars when they got it at Christmas. I've played it on my own and on demos at EGX, and thought, yeah, this is great. So I convinced my wife and both my sons to play it like 4-player co-op with me. And my word, why did they build this as a 4-player co-op game? I mean, I guess that they're expecting all players to be competent or on the same wavelength or something, but this was just horrendous. Like, we started playing and my sons both wanted to be Sonic. I convinced them, well, I tried to convince one of them that Sonic is just Knuckles without, upper body strength, and Knuckles can fly and punch, so Knuckles is better. They both wanted to be Knuckles, and I had to convince them that Sonic got to use moves that Knuckles didn't. Eventually, we figured this out. When it started, the youngest just couldn't keep up with any of us, so we all had to slow down. But then we'd try and follow him, and it would just send us off in all sorts of directions and whatever. And it got to the point where at any given time, 3 of us would just sat pressing A, trying to appear on the screen while the other one was at the front, and it would just alternate who was at the front. And I just kind of thought, this was meant to be their big selling point of this game, and I've obviously played it like an old Sonic game on my own and with a second person, and it's been quite okay because most of the time they're keeping up with you, or they're jumping at things while you're doing something else. It's not too bad, but God, 4-player, it was horrendous. And part of me is like, maybe we should keep doing it because it's a good way to teach the boys to kind of control the, frustrations that they were getting from it. But there was a point where 3 of us died, and Ollie was the last one alive on the boss, and he kept just dodging the boss. And I was like, you need to hit the boss. You've only got to hit it like 2 more times and it'll die. And he kept just dodging it until he got hit by whatever it killed him. And he just put the controller down and left, and that was the end of the game. He was like, no, I'm out, I'm going. He just went upstairs, didn't hear from him for half hour. And I was just like, yeah, this is basically an argument simulator now. It is still very cool, very pretty, does all the cool Sonic art styles that I love, and on its own, me playing solo, I really enjoyed it. And plus the mini games on it were cool, although there was a lot of them, and Ollie wanted to stop for every single one, even though there was like, we couldn't coordinate. So if he saw a ring appear that you could go through to go to like the Emerald level bits, he wanted to stop, but one of us would be slightly further ahead and the game would move us on, and that was winding him up. But yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at it thinking, why would you make this 4-player? It didn't seem. I can't imagine any age group would coordinate us, that much better than we did. Did you play it coordinated on the demo? You played it at EGX, you 3, didn't you?
Did we?
I didn't.
Maybe you didn't. I think you were queuing near it, and I just assumed you played it.
Oh, I might have played it. I got very confused and lost, if I remember rightly.
There was a couple. It actually bugged out on us as well. We were falling for like ever on one bit, and I kept being like, "Well, it'll update eventually," and we just fell and fell and fell. It was very odd, but yeah, I was waiting. When we started it, I thought, "Oh, this will be our nice we'll do this on Saturdays for the next few weeks till we completed it." And now I'm like, do I want to play it tomorrow and have a massive row with the boys? Probably not. Like, I know I can control myself on that and not have the row, but I'm like, do I really want to annoy them? Do I really want to wind them up that much? Probably not. Let's give them a weekend off to chill. Yeah, it's a shame, but it's still good. It's still good 1-player. I mean, apparently this is for ages 3 and up. I don't see that any 3-year-old's going to be able to handle that game. not at all. I know that usually doesn't mean that they can physically play it, but I'm just looking at it like, no, absolutely not. It's just, yeah. I'm sort of stressing myself out thinking they want to play it now. They're going to forget how angry they got. I'm just going to be like, no, we can't. So the other thing I've been playing obviously heavily, I'm still massively on the Final Fantasy 16 train. We said last week that I thought I'd be done by now, but yeah, I don't think I'm.
Okay, where are we at? Where can you non-spoilerish?
Yeah, no, I can do non-spoilery. I've just gone to this it's like a desert place that's got a massive waterfall space in the middle of it. There was a kid that stole something out of someone's pocket, and I'm just looking.
Oh, you've gone to the desert town, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So you're going for that?
Am I like crystal. 3/4 of the way through? Would you say, or
did you deal with the big fella, the Titan?
Yeah. I think I dealt with him last week. To be fair, I've been doing a lot of side quests this week as well. You have. I've killed all of the hunts that were available. I got an S-type hunt called Atlas, and I was just like, I was convinced he was going to be some major boss because he was S-type. And then when I was looking up where he was on the map, it just said he was the first of the S-type bosses. I was like, oh, okay. So he's not one of the peak ones. He's just one of a set of really difficult ones.
Are you trying to finish this game?
Well, I am trying to finish it, but I'm also not too worried about doing side quests.
You are going through the weeds of this game, doing all the hunts and the stuff. You're doing a lot of side stuff.
I did help a guy find his apprentice baker that had gone missing. Which I was just like, when I finished it, I thought, what was that? The guy really missed seeing something in the distance, so he went for a wander to see it. And then when I caught up with him, he was like, oh, I can't just keep working, making bread. I miss this too much. And I said, I had the choice of what to say to him, and I just said something like, it'll always be in your heart. And he was like, even when I'm baking bread. And then he ran back to his little oven and started cooking bread again. And I was like, I have no idea what this was. Like, I don't know why this is part of it, but
it's a lot of filler.
The bread he made sounded good, though. I was like, I really want to bake this now. There's been. You said to me last week, there's like marks on them if they're important and if they're not.
There's actual specific quests, like the Chocobo one. It's a quest that it's got some sort of, like I say, either a mark or an emblem or something on it that I can't remember what it is now. If you googled it, like said, like what are the side quests that you need to do, sort of thing.
See, I was thinking to myself, there's a guy that when I talk to him, he never has quests really, but he'll always be like, there's always something to do, isn't there? And I'm like, no, you've literally had nothing for the past week. But he does have some useless ones now and again, which I think was where the baker was.
Yeah.
And then there's like a tray in my room that sometimes has letters in it that says "Come and do a task."
Yes.
And they've usually been a bit better.
One of them. I think one of them is an important one. The guy in the herb garden thing, he's usually got quests for you that are worthy of it. Because they're the ones that help you with your increasing things.
But yeah, I'm kind of I'm enjoying going on them. So I'll sit in my lunch break and I'll just go and do a couple of the little quests, stuff like that. And then when my wife goes to bed, 10:30, I'll just sit and play through the story a bit more. But I don't know. I'm trying to think. When I looked up before, when I was looking up a quest before, it said I was 25 through, and I've done quite a lot since then. And I think there was 50 in total. So I'm guessing that I'm probably sort of 3/4 of the way through, but that might not be the case if you're saying that I'm going through quite slow.
Yeah. I feel like you end up in that time for a little bit. Especially doing the side quests. I feel like there's a lot of side quests in there that are just pointless, but I think even the main quest does it.
I got a sword last night that was 280 power, and I thought, oh, that's hefty. I bet that's one of the later swords. And then after a little while, I decided to Google it because I wondered. I was like, I wonder how many swords there are in this. Should just be something that I'm trying to go out of my way to prepare for or whatever. And the best sword in there's 700. So
yeah,
not even.
Your hunts are what are those for? Because your hunts provide you the materials to be able to craft the better swords.
Yeah.
But if you're just playing the story, what does it matter? You'll do it anyway, regardless. You don't really need these super powerful swords.
Nah, but knowing that there's a 700 out there, I kind of want that.
You can end up doing all the side stuff because you're trying to get all the materials.
It tends to be how I play Final Fantasy games, to be fair. But I mean, I do need to crack on. I don't really want to be coming on next week and going, I'm still playing it, I'm not finished yet. I'd like to be done before the next show.
Thingy? It's 2 weeks, isn't it, for the 7?
Yeah. I keep meaning to pre-order that. I haven't done that yet, but I keep meaning to. The demo was really fun. Have you played the demo yet, Anna?
Didn't even know there was one.
What? You can you do the the flashback in Final Fantasy VII where you go to Nibelheim and wander around and see Tifa and play on her piano and stuff like that.
I will have a look on the PlayStation. Oh.
They've put a a full-on proper piano in there, so you can sit and play real music on it. All over TikTok, people are playing songs, like My Chemical Romance and John Lennon stuff and stuff like that. I missed that. I don't know if I said last week. I completely missed that. My mates are asking me if the piano and Tifa's underwear drawer were in it, and I was like, I can't go in the house. Won't let me in. And then I went online and saw all of the memes. I was like, God damn it! I need to replay that now. But
also, your save carries over, so you don't have to play it when the game comes out. That section.
Yeah, see, I like that. I don't know if I said last week,
That's
but
great.
Some of the bits they've put in it are bits that I used to find really when I was younger. I'd be playing it. And I'd be like, oh, this bit I want to want to get past this now. I want to jump this bit. So giving me that while I'm excited to play the game, and it's just like, oh, this is my taste of the game. That's a good idea, I feel, because it would have been hard to start the game with a flashback. Turn it on in a couple of weeks and be like, right, now I've got to sit through this bit of story that doesn't really impact anything moving forward. Would have been weird.
Mm-hmm.
You need to play 16 now, Anna. I was saying to someone earlier, it's, in my opinion, it's the best characters they've written since at least 10, but I would probably argue they're better than 9 and 10 in terms of characters. I feel like the main two are a little bit, because they're royal or because they're upper class or whatever, they're a little bit more rigid than everybody else. But everybody else is amazing, and the two main people are likable. They're just, I mean, the old main characters were usually completely silent, didn't really have any personality because they were from your perspective, and this time they're better than that, and everybody else is great. So I think you'd enjoy it once you got into it because the characters are just fantastic. I love them; they're really good. I mean, that's probably another reason why I don't mind doing the side quests, is because I'm enjoying the interactions and hearing what people say and how they feel or whatever, just enjoying a bit more time with each of the characters.
I'd agree with that.
Plus, I feel like Anna would be doing what I'm doing and walking around her house shouting, "My wounds, boy!" Dave all the time. I keep just shouting at my children, but if I had a dog, I'd be absolutely shouting at my dog.
My dog's not very well. Well, he's fine.
He's fine. He just went for his injections
but
today.
He's not happy today. He's all slimy.
That doesn't mean he's not very well.
Well, mental unhealth is still a thing, Kevin.
He's just had his injections. That's not mental.
Well, just shout, "My wounds, boy," at him and he'll heal you.
I went upstairs and came back down and he was still asleep, Kevin. That's not the dog.
Yeah, because he's annoyed with us for going and taking him to the torture room.
I thought you said tortoise room for a second and I was absolutely thrown by
he
what
loves
that
the
could possibly
tortoise
mean.
room. That's his favourite room.
But yeah, I've covered my games there, so Anna or Pab, but one of you enlighten us.
Well, I've been on a cruise, so I didn't take anything gaming with me because Kevin said I wouldn't need it.
You didn't need it. You did not. You had a lovely time.
The internet doesn't work in the sea. I got very frustrated with that. So I didn't have any gaming with me. I was very sad. So I coloured on my new pen and iPad, which was fun, which I'm doing right now.
She's an old lady, so she refuses to call it an Apple Pencil.
It is a pen, and it works on my screen, and it's very therapeutic. But I did play Helldivers 2 for an evening.
You did? Okay, cool.
I did. It's a bit like Defiance from back in the day, if anyone remembers that, the TV crossover.
Yeah.
I know this doesn't have a TV crossover, but it's a bit like that. There is no story to this game. Nothing. And you're basically... You go... So, like, the start of it is quite funny and jokey. Like, you go through, like, a whole tutorial and you got this, like a... like Mr. Korg from Borderlands. It's that kind of tone, and he's like taking you through that. Like, you listen to him and you go through like this whole tutorial. So like you have to, like, if you don't prone at a certain time, you get like shot up by turrets, and it's like proper proning. It's not like pretend proning. Like, you have to be on the floor. Like, you are shot. Dave, the Dave's making all kinds of noises. Are you okay? Okay, he's fine. Yeah, I don't quite... So, like, you are a Helldiver and you are sent down when you are needed, I believe, and then you fight bugs. Just bugs. There's nothing else. Just bugs. Big
bugs.
Big
bugs. Yep.
And you can do it on your own. It is not... Well, I tried it on my own. Don't do that, ever. don't ever go down there by yourself, because it is a 4 co-op player, and I did go down on my own, and I very much regretted my decision. And this was like the first area, first level. Yeah, that was an experience. So like all I do now is I pick a place on the map and then I just press quick play, and I go and play with randoms, because doing it on your own is not fun, because you are constrained by a time limit. There's I think it's like at the moment all I've seen is like 40 minutes, and you have like a whole piece of map where you have an objective, but there is other objectives, like optional ones that you could go around and do. I didn't know this. I just went down there, thought these are objectives, but I just went and followed the other people, and we were going here, there, and everywhere, blowing up like eggs, blowing up like these buildings, and then there was like some radio array I had to move. I don't know what was going on. I just followed, and I found it fun with like randoms. I didn't have to talk to anybody. I didn't really have to interact except for like revive people, and I'm fine with that. That kind of like playing with people I can just about manage. It's when people get like, I got kicked once because I didn't have a mic on, and I don't like to talk in games. I don't need to talk to these people. I don't know them, and I get very like
what did they tell you? That's why you were kicked?
Well, this guy put in, because like there's a chat box, and everyone, and it was like this guy was going, "Can everyone hear me?" And the other two people were like, "Yes, yes." I didn't answer in the chat box, and I got kicked by that person who was going, "Can you hear me?" So it tells me who kicked me, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Like, I don't like chatting games. It's not. I can't do it because of my anxiety. No, thank you." And then like I got kicked another time. I don't know why. I think it was because I was just like low level. Because obviously you start from level 1. Some of these were like 12. Obviously not as high as these people. So it's fine. But yeah, randoms who are like me, fine. Can't fault them. So like you go down. Before you go down, like you select all your guns and like your specials, and then you go down, and then you have to like put in a certain like button code to get these little packages sent down to you. So like I got like a good gun come down for me, or I got like a grenade launcher to put next to me, and like if a horde came in, that would like protect me, or a supply drop if I needed more ammo. And you're not the only one that could, like the supplies, you're not the only one who can use them. Your squad can, which is good. And it's got elements of Gears of War in, so like the bugs come out of the ground, you have to chuck in a grenade into the hole, that hole will shut. So that's a bit like Gears of War, and obviously I like Gears of War. It's just got a bit of everything, and as long as I can quick play and not talk to people, it's alright. It's fine. It's a bit on the, it's like high octane. Like sometimes I need to just step back and not play that. So I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima, because that is just like the chillest game. I can just go around doing what I'm doing in Ghost of Tsushima, because it's just a chill game. It's like they're two polar opposites. You've got like this game where you can just go and like assassinate someone in the back, or go around and squish bugs in the face with a machine gun. So yeah, take your pick. But they're the only two I've played. So that's just me done.
I do want Helldivers 2. But like you say, there's little point me playing it unless I am playing it with my friends. And if my friends haven't got it, there's no point me buying it. I'll just buy in a full price game for the sake of...
It's not full price, it's like £34.
Well, no, but you know what I mean? If I just wait till it comes down in price anyway, and when everybody else gets it, then I'm more inclined to play it, because it is very much one of them co-op shooters which has friendly fire. It has full friendly fire as well, isn't it?
It does, yes.
Yep.
Yes, it does.
So, and you can call down dropships and land them on people, which is a form of griefing, I suppose. So yeah, I just need people to play it with rather than. So I was like, I've just held off on it. I've seen very good things. It looks very good. Looks nice. proper take on. It's a take on Starship Troopers, isn't it? Realistically.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Which is not a bad thing, like.
yeah, it's good. It's a good looking game, like I say. But maybe you'll hear from me playing it maybe in a year's time or something like that when it's cheap and everyone's bought in. I've just bought into like a 4-pack or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They don't even do that anymore, do they? They used to do that
Do they
all the
not?
time. They don't really do it anymore. You used to be able to buy 4-packs of games, didn't you, for co-op games and stuff like that. I don't think they do it anymore. I think they just rather people just all buy it individually, so they don't,
Well, I think they've charged a fair price for it. Like I saw it in the shop for like $29.99.
Yeah, it's not bad at
like,
all.
Oh.
It's not bad at all, really. They could have charged a lot more.
Mm.
And you've been playing Ghost of Tsushima as well, have you?
Yeah.
It's a very chill game until it's not chill, and you inadvertently run into a pack of enemies that'll all get you. But yeah, I know what you mean.
I've had that a few times, but
Yeah.
I just find it chill from what I was playing. I was like, whoa, I need something to chill me out. And I find that because I've never finished the bloody game, and
It's really good. Really
I know,
good.
and I never get to that, and I'm like, I really want to finish this, but
Did
I
you get to full ghost mode?
No.
So
I always
you'll get to a
second
point where you
island.
get to be full ghost. You go full ghost.
That sounds.
You'll know what that. At that point you'll go, okay, this is what Fab was talking about. You'll know it's happening. But yeah, I don't think I finished the DLC for that.
No,
it came out on PS5, didn't it? The DLC.
it did.
I didn't. I think I started it, but I never actually finished it. Which is a shame, really. They should probably do that as well. Yeah.
It came out and it was good when it came out, but I think because it came out and they upgraded it, and then people had PS5s to play with, and I just think DLC went to a wayside a little bit.
I platinumed the actual game itself, the main game. I platinumed that, and it's good. Even that's got a really good multiplayer, a good co-op multiplayer. That's supposed to be very good. I've never played that either.
I've been in there once. It was okay.
Yeah, I've never got to. I saw other people playing it, but I don't have anyone on my friends list who would actually play it. I think that never came to PC actually. I wonder if that's next on the list. Oh no. Anyway, what have I played this week? Pretty much the same as last week. We're not in a quiet time, I think, again at the minute. I think January dropped quite a few games all at once, and then we're in February now, where I don't think there's anything, pretty much except Final Fantasy at the end of the month. I don't think there's anything major that I can think of off the top of my head. It was Helldivers counts.
The Mario game today, I think, but that's about it.
Yeah, there's a new, is it Mario vs. Donkey Kong? Which is a remake of one of the DS games, was it? Or is it Game Boy Advance? I can't remember.
I think it's Game Boy Advance.
Yeah. I've heard good things on, seen some relatively positive reviews.
Yeah, relatively positive, don't they?
Yeah, if you like those type of games, then it's probably worth giving it a go, but they're very much not the more puzzle games than they are more traditional Mario games. But I've been playing more Palworld. I'm level 30 now. We have pistols. I finally got pistols.
Yeah.
Pistols. I had muskets last week. I had a musket, and muskets are good, they're powerful, but they say, you know full well, like a musket, you shoot the gun and you've got to like reload it, like you've got to stick the stick down it and pack the gun and then it's a chore to shoot a musket. We've got pistols now, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm tiring on it. It's early access. It's early access. The cap is level 50, level 30. The grind is on. The grind is on now. A buddy who I'm playing it with has said he's going to turn up the XP thing on the server like by one hour, whatever it is, just because like we got to level like 25ish relatively easy, but then the grind to 30 has been a struggle, and you're always trying to just upgrade your base, and by doing that you do that by building new structures and things in that base, but right now we can't build anything for our base until we're level 32, and And like I say, I feel like we've been here a long time now, just grinding and just wandering around the map, just looking, just literally just filling the map out. That's all we've been doing recently, just filling the map out, looking around, and we come back, empty our inventories, get some more bullets made, and go back out again and just go around looking for lift monk effigies and fast travel points. We're killing more and more bosses and stuff that are around, but they're only around 30 to 35. The levels we're going for. Anything else, we don't do any damage. I think we did a boss that was we did a second tower boss. That's what we have done. We have done a second tower boss, which was fine. But like I say, it took a long time because it was much higher than what we have been doing. But it's a good, decent little game. But there's no. It's what I have always been very wary of in a survival game. It gets to a point where the grind starts to happen, and I just don't have the patience for it. And as much fun as it is trying to get the pals and what have you, it's just like the fact that the dragon thing that I'm using to fly around on is just incredibly slow. It feels incredibly slow, so it's getting a bit tedious going around the map. We went right to the very top of the map yesterday. And then there's an invisible wall there. There's this massive tree in the distance, and we're like, okay, we must be able to go there, and you can't. So then we have to go all the way back, and it's just all ocean for like 20 minutes. Just going, it's like, oh, this is just. At one point I just went, right, I'm going back inland. I'm just cutting back in. I'm just cutting back inland and just cutting my losses. I'm not going back all the way down and round. Like I said, I'm not hating it. I I feel like I'm just tiring of the grind on it now, and like I say, we're a month into this game, and they are constantly doing updates and stuff for it. But I mean, this is the point now. You've kind of got to let them cook and let them build the game. It's been out for a month. They've got a lot of money on their hands now. It's been very successful. Let them work on it now, and I think I'm going to get to the point where I'm like, I just don't. I don't see me because I have a friend who's playing on his own server who's like he was like level 44 or something. I'm like, I just don't see myself getting to that point where I want to just grind for that long. I just don't have it in me to go and do the same bosses over and over again, and because you can't do, because you can kill all the bosses you want around your level, then at a certain point it's not enough XP to. You're not getting enough XP out of it to move up a level. So you're having to, like, the bosses reset after an hour in the world. So you end up going back through them all again. You're like, it's just not worth it's not worth it to try and push on to the other bosses because it's all the same thing. You just run in, and now I've got guns. You just shoot a load of pals. You throw your pals out and let them do the business sort of thing. And then if you want to catch them, you try and catch them. If not, you don't, and you just finish them off, and then you get all the XP for it. But it's fine. It's a fine game. But like I say, I don't know how long I'm going to play it while it's in its state that it currently is in. And the other game that I've been playing is Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I wanted this game to get a grip to me, and it definitely has. I'm 20 hours in now. It says I've done like 17 hours in on the save file, but on Steam it says 20 hours. I was thinking I've not left it on at any time. And then I'm thinking, is that 3 hours just watch time of cutscenes? I was like, but that doesn't feel right either, because I feel like it'd be a lot more like 12 hours. It feels like 12 hours I've played and 12 hours I've watched cutscene, because you do a lot of watching stuff. But it's great. It's so good. It's so. Like not uplifting, but like the
it's
positivity.
Just so ridiculous. Yeah.
The positivity that is ever the optimist, Ichiban, and you can't help but like him, and everything that goes against him, he's just like, oh well, carry on. On we go. Let's keep going. We're doing our thing. Let's go. Just maybe it's a bit naive of him, but he's very ever the optimist and trying to just like be very positive of everything. yeah, it's very good. It's very funny. I was hoping I'd have got to Dondoko Island by now. Apparently that's chapter 6. I'm in chapter 5 now. I'm hoping to get to Dondoko Island by next week, but so I can tell you about what Dondoko Island is. I don't know if you've heard of what Dondoko Island is.
I haven't, no.
Dondoko Island is their version of Animal Crossing.
Oh, good lord.
There's a full Animal Crossing game in this, which is apparently better than Animal Crossing.
Oh, that does sound fun.
So I look forward to getting to that point. But it continues to be very entertaining.
It is a ridiculous concept of a game. Like, I've got the first Like a Dragon.
Yes.
And I only stopped playing it because of I couldn't get past the bulldozer. But apart from that, it was so funny. Like, I had men that were dressed up as Pokemon.
All the Sujimon stuff is... there's a whole Sujimon stuff now. I got into that a bit this week. I've been trying to catch a greased up fella, but I can't get him. He doesn't want my presents. That's the way you catch him. You give him a present, and then you spam the A button, and he goes, please, 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 please. And then if he does, and then sometimes he'll take the present, and then he becomes part of your team, or if not, he just kicks it away and goes, no, get out of here. It's stupid.
Ridiculous, yeah, but it's fun.
It is very fun. It's I like how it's just absurd at times, but not. It's all played so self-serious. None of them are finding it absurd. It's just like, yeah, this is just part of the world. This is what it is. Yeah, I've been to the gritty underworld of Hawaii, literal underworld in some parts, and it's quite yeah, it's insane. I don't know. I've done like a big. I think that must be the end of chapter 4 that I did, where there's like a big old boss fight, and that was good. Yeah, I do like. I'm enjoying going through it. I keep umming and ahhing. I keep thinking, would Kev like this? And
nah.
I think he would.
I think he would.
Yeah,
because it's so anime stuff.
It's ridiculous.
It's just not teenagers at school, but it's just as stupid. And
how much snogging is there, Pab?
Yeah, but you get to catch fat men that are dressed up as Pokemon, Kevin.
Well, snogging. There's no
snogging. I'm not interested.
There's no snogging in the game you're playing now.
Stock market with a chicken.
The promise of snogs is there, though.
Yes, but the promise of snogs
this is Japanese as well, isn't it? So the implied snogging is there.
It is implied. It's not. Well, no. There's attempts at snogging that fail massively at certain points, because
it'll be like your high school experience all over again, Kev.
I didn't go to high school. I'm not an American TV character.
Secondary school didn't have a good ring to it.
Have to keep you on the straight and narrow with your Americanisms.
I think you might like this, because it's all turn-based.
I guess we'll never. Oh, now you've got me. Turn-based and snogging. That's the thing.
I feel like you would you could play the first one, which is what Yakuza Like a Dragon, and it is turn-based combat, running round a Japanese town, and then there's enemies on the road everywhere, or all over the place that you fight, and then there's a whole stuff. Yeah, it's bonkers.
You can pick up a bike and smack someone over the head with it.
You do. There's a lot of stuff in that.
Interesting.
That you can
I do like smacking people.
Yeah. I keep umming and ahhing, because I feel like at some point I'm going to get told off for not telling you about this. So here it is now, me telling you. I think you might like this game.
I don't acknowledge this.
No, I usually don't acknowledge these things. I just get it told off in another 12 months.
Yeah.
And I'll still be playing this. I'll be still playing this one. Still going on. Going, yeah, I'm still playing it. They're good games, and like I said, the story's good enough to keep me going right now. I'm 20 hours in. Apparently, you can do it in about 60. That's not, that's pretty much main story. I don't think that includes doing the crazy taxi mode, or the Pokemon mode, or the Animal Crossing mode, or the Sega Arcade, or the Tinder dating system thing that's in the game, or any other mini game that's in this game. There's so much. There's like some sort of weird. I think it's like a variation of mahjong in this game that you can do. I don't know what this is, but there's a whole game in there. There's like probably 20 games within the game. It's bonkers. It's bonkers. The amount of stuff that they give you for this game. It's just like this game could be the last game you ever need because there's so many different things in it. It's just crazy. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I've played less Fortnite recently. We're pushing the end of the season now. We're like a couple of weeks away, I think. Start of March is the new season. Waiting for the new meta where I'm not crap. We shall see on Fortnite. Have I played anything else?
Don't know, Pabby.
I'm thinking. I don't think that I have. There's not been a great deal of huge games out as of recently. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's everything for this week.
Well, in that case, we will wrap things up there, boys and girls. If you would like to hassle us on the internet, you can do that at Mgukpodcast, or you can follow me at Lelujo.
You can follow me at RB6K.
I'm Miss Lelucho.
And I'm at Pab1986.
And we'll see you next week, boys and girls.
Have a good week.
Toodle pip.
Thanks for listening, folks.